Kelowna, one of the most beautiful places in the world to live, surrounded by provincial parks, pine forests, vineyards, orchards, and mountains. Wouldn't it be great if there was a podcast about our love of Kelowna? Oh no, it's real. This is I Love Kelowna, an interview-style podcast about the fabulous and fascinating people that make up our great city and the Okanagan. Intimate conversations with entrepreneurs, executives, thought leaders, creatives, and anyone who has an interesting story to tell about how they're contributing to our wonderful home. This is I Love Kelowna, and here's your host, Luke J. Minkus.
Geoff and Julie, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I know it's a work day for all of us, so I really appreciate you breaking off a little time and coming to talk to us. You came to Kelowna in 2012. So tell us the story of how you got to Kelowna.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks. Thank you, Luke, for having us. It's kind of funny. I host a podcast every other week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And sometimes Geoff is on, but we've never been invited to be on a podcast. So thanks for allowing us to be part of your thing. This is awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
And we came to Kelowna back in 2012. So up until that point, we got married in 99 and started investing in real estate. And at the time, Geoff owned a hardware store. And anyway, from 2001 to 2011, we went from, building up like a multi-hundred property portfolio to actually having it all kind of crash and burn around us through the recession. Mm-hmm. And at the beginning stages of the rebuilding process, I got a job with a company that had a sales branch here in Kelowna. Mm-hmm. And I came out on a site visit in March, and it's actually kind of an interesting story. And this is when Geoff jumps in. But I mentioned his hardware store because, go ahead.
I owned a home hardware building center, but I'd rather say it owned me.
Right.
Because it's a lot of hours for any of the home hardware people out there or any of the retailers, really. It's a tough, hard grind with a lot of hours involved. So that was my life. Some days go better than others. Some are more stressful than others. But the day that Julie is talking about when she flew here, I sent her a text.
Yeah.
And she landed, and I said, "How is it there?" Mm-hmm. And her response via text was, "It feels like home." Mm-hmm. So that means a couple of things. For one, Julie's from Denver, Colorado originally. So Kelowna and Denver look geographically quite similar.
Right.
And the other thing is we came here and holidayed a lot, and we loved it here.
Okay.
So I didn't know which way she meant it, but it didn't really matter because either way was good.
Yeah.
And I was just having I said we should move there then. Mm-hmm. And not that I'd pre-planned that to say that or had said it ever previously to that, right?
Yeah.
So I texted her that maybe we should move there. And Julie said...
And I said, well, actually what you said was,
okay.
Can we move there?
Oh, can we move there?
And I'm looking at this text thinking, it's about 11 o'clock. So he's already super stressed. Yeah, he probably wants to move here. But I texted back, be careful because I'll make it happen.
Right.
And he's like, that's fine. And so...
It just opened up our minds differently. That little 6 texts back and forth was a change from we can never move to Kelowna because I own this big business here to how could we?
Right.
Or could we? Even just that little crack in the egg of a question was, could we?
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then it really gained momentum quickly, actually.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the reasons we thought we couldn't didn't hold as much value or water as we thought they would. Mm-hmm. Yes.
How long did it take to say, okay, this is it, we're moving, and start packing your luggage and actually get here?
She knows time better
so
than
we
me.
went. So that was the text happened in March.
Mm-hmm.
We came out about 3 weekends later, Easter weekend, and found a house that was in foreclosure, for sale from foreclosure. We put an offer on it. Had no business putting an offer on it because we had just lost everything and we had no idea how we were going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And Geoff just stood in the backyard and said, "Oh, don't worry. You'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Don't worry." And he's filming things and, getting everything ready to visualize. And it really was the perfect house for us. But seriously, at the same time, we were like, we don't know how we're going to do this. But we'd been through so much trauma that, well, for me as a woman, I was not going to be renting. If we're coming someplace, we're going to move there. We're going to put down roots and
she needed she needed a den, a proper home that could not be disrupted, which means owning it or having control of it at least, right? So that's just to jump ahead a bit, but that's how we help a lot of people now.
Yes, actually.
Help people that can't get into a home for various reasons. Good people, the bank says no, or whatever their situation is, and we help them get into homes. So we do a lot of that.
That's a wonderful thing. So I've got some overlap with your story. I came here in 2011 and I owned a real estate portfolio as well. Not hundreds of units, but I owned a beautiful 10,000 square foot building in the Cayman Islands.
Wow.
And some other property. And by 2013, I was, pretty close to being homeless. I lost everything. Mm-hmm. So the timing is kind of similar.
Yeah.
And one of the things like I had to deal with, and I'm sure a lot of the people that you help, and maybe yourselves, is the psychology of it. Like, how do you bounce back? You feel like you've got the world under control. Everything's going great. And then one day you wake up and it's like, it evaporates. So how do you get up in the morning and keep going and recover from that? Like, what's the first thing you guys did to get back on your feet?
Like, I'm not going to compare crashes or anything because that's not the important part, but the amount of fear that we went into was enormous, tremendous. So I'm not even going to pretend that a day or two or three later, or even weeks or even months, that we felt better, because we didn't. We went through a long drought of feeling ashamed, really bad, really remorseful, mad at ourselves, mad at others, mad at the economy, mad at the situation, mad at each other. Like our marriage even had its stress test, of course. And it just took, I don't know what it took. It either took time or it took a slow crawling out of the mud. It's hard to even put it because there wasn't we never stopped our personal growth. We went to see incredible people that gave us different perspectives on it. That's probably, if any kind of turning points, it was continuing that and getting those different perspectives, because all we were seeing it as a horrible, horrible injustice event in our lives.
Yes.
And we needed someone to help us switch that perspective. And now, you've come out the other side, because now we wouldn't change it.
Right.
You don't necessarily wish it on someone either, but you don't want to change it because it. All that fire just created a different person that you left behind back there.
For sure.
Yeah.
So real estate. Sorry, you were
I was going to say something that I thought of from that question. It was hard to think back to that time. But something that was really helpful for me was if I found somebody, or if I had somebody in my life that really believed in me, just like you want to hang around with people that believe in you and who are not going to, who are going to believe in you even though you fall. Like even this guy who gave me the job. Before he gave me the job, I went to him. I said, "Hey, listen, buddy, this is what's going on. Are you sure you want to have your name associated with mine? He's like, absolutely. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You're going to be able to back up from this. You've learned so much, and now you're going to be able to pass it on to my team. And it's like, okay, that's not something I've really thought of. And then we've had so many people come into our lives who just believed in us. Yeah. And I think that when you're trying to rebuild, the more you can surround yourself with those folks rather than the naysayers and the people who want to like crab in the bucket, drag you down. Yeah. I think that's a key.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. So when it comes to real estate, no doubt you've learned a ton. And in my case, I made a lot of money in real estate and I lost a lot of money in real estate. And I've learned a lot of valuable lessons in the process. And like you said, I'm in a way glad that I went through it because I'm a totally different person. I think I'm a much nicer person for one thing. But tell us some of the things about real estate that, if you could go in a time machine and what you advise people today that you help, what are some of the things that you've learned about real estate that you didn't know before the crash?
We probably both have some. I have one right away.
Yeah, go ahead first and I'll think.
Well, one of the big ones that we implement every time now is we had a big portfolio kind of just held in different ways and companies and it was not very protective for ourselves and it was not very protective for our investors. So when we do it now, it is more protective. It's almost like one company, one property. And it's very clear on their role. I mean, an investor's role, what the risks that, I'd say that early newbie investors will overpromise because they'll tell that investor what they want to hear. Yeah. We actually really negative charge that now. So we like over explain that there's risk in real estate, that this can happen and what, because I won't take on someone's emotional money anymore. If it's their emotional money, I don't even want it.
Meaning like it's speculative, like they're almost gambling.
They gave us their money because of a big promise for a big return. Right. But there was a lot of fear attached to the money. There was a lot of, you can have it, but don't lose it or else. Right. And a lot of fear and a lot of, emotional money. Like it was not calm money. It was not investor decision-minded money. It was like, you're going to make me 20% on this. And they're just thinking of that part of the game and not any other part of the game. So, just thinking back, I some of the deals I made with investors or that I took on their money, I wouldn't take on those same people. Yeah. Because I won't get too far into the energy of it, but you're taking on the energy of them and that money into the deal too.
The anxiety in them.
Their fear, their unrealistic expectation, or their non-maturity in the deal itself. Yeah. So,
are either of you allergic to cats?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, you are. Oh, just my wife that I've been married to for 20 years.
He's so.
Are you serious? In a serious way?
He's so thick.
Sometimes
when he walks in front, the volume just goes because he's so thick, right?
Oh yeah.
He's so beautiful, and I want to pet him, but I will start sneezing, and my eyes will get all red.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, but he's beautiful and such a sweetie, obviously.
Sorry,
Henry. You're so pretty, though. So, okay. You want to mark that down?
Yeah.
Like the time that this all happened?
Just so I can...
No problem. Yeah. Go back and edit.
Do you think I need to repeat anything here to finish?
No, I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and building on what Geoff said, I totally agree. How we do things now, when we work with an investor, we always secure them on title. Some way.
Right.
And there are lots of ways to secure an investor on title without it. There are lots of ways to secure an investor on title. Right. We usually use one investor per deal.
Right.
And we rarely we rarely qualify for financing.
Mm-hmm. So you get the investor to...
We have investors qualify for financing, which actually strengthens their position in the investment. We just make sure that we are very, very well protected and that they are very well protected equally. It's we learned so much from that experience.
And it sounds like the real estate you had before was all kind of commingled in a sense, like you would, like everything collapsed at once because it was all interconnected. Whereas now you have it as separate deals. So a corporate structure or a separate title ownership.
Right. Like if that happened
companies.
again, if things went the way they did in the world really, but Alberta where we were, it wouldn't even be close to looking the same.
Is it typically, do you put the investor on title via a mortgage, or do you incorporate and then give them a certain share percentage?
We've done many different ways. Some ways you can have a company on the title and then you can just add your investor to the company, which is one way.
Yeah.
You can literally just add a investor to title. In a lot of cases, the investors buy the property.
Right.
And we oversee it. And the reason why most investors work with us is just because we've been through hell and back and we know what it looks like, how to get out of it, how to avoid it. And so, we take care of everything, but they feel like they've got somebody who can really, ultimately you want to be working with somebody that can handle things when things go sideways.
Yeah.
That's when people's money is safest.
So how do you protect yourself in a case like that? If the investor owns the property, you're obviously sharing in the profits. So is it just an agreement?
A joint venture.
Yeah, joint venture
agreements usually. And sometimes it's our company and they're coming on with us. So of course, if the lawyer was here, he may go, well, that's not truly protection the way you did it. But you know what? If that's what you're hinging everything on, is needing your lawyers to decide if then you didn't really start with a good relationship and foundation to begin with. So there has to be trust. There has to be some, a true joint venture is you're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to work together.
Yeah.
Crap could happen and we'll have that talk and we'll be transparent and we'll come up with a solution, right? We'll always just keep working together.
Yeah.
Right?
And clarity.
Clarity
Out rolls and percentages and
yes,
that's
exactly.
Right. That's right.
And all that's black and white on pieces of paper that are either registered on title or in everybody's files.
Right.
So, we have good places of accountability in place.
Yeah. So I got to hear a little bit about how some of these deals work when I attended your events, and I'm going to join your group.
Oh, great.
You'll have me.
Thank you. Of course. You're a great fit. Great fit.
I'm delighted. So, I've got some, when I was in my early 20s, my dad did some land development before he died. He was into computers. That's where he made most of his money. So I was kind of like a gopher boy, but I wasn't given much responsibility. And my dad had a funny thing. He would tell his partner, I want you to teach Luke everything you know. He's going to take your job one day. So, of course, they would send me off on wild goose chases. They didn't treat me very good. And then they would say to my dad, oh, he's kind of a slacker. And it was and he was overseas all the time. It was terrible.
There's a little bit of ego involved there.
A lot of ego. But I was able to, pick up bits and pieces, and I saw spreadsheets, which I kept to this day from the late 1980s. Formulas for construction. Things like that. So when my building in the Cayman Islands was destroyed in 2004 with the hurricane, so the bank said, okay, we'll finance you. Well, the first bank said, you missed your October mortgage payment. We're going to foreclose. And I said, well, the roof is in the parking lot and the tenants can't pay rent. And they're like, we don't care. So I had $200 to my name. And I went to different banks. I had my only remaining set of clothes because everything was destroyed with mold or it was looted. Anything that was intact, looters came in and took it. It's all my books, all my clothes, everything. So I went to 2 different banks, Scotiabank and Royal Bank of Canada in the Cayman Islands. And I said, here's my proposal, here's my budget. And they both said, we'll fund this contingent on getting a settlement with the insurance company. And so I was playing them off each other, and I got an amazing interest rate. And then the insurance company was like, it's going to take a year before we can get to you. So I'm toast, right? There was American guys that showed up, and they were insurance adjusters by trade. But they said, we'll work for you. So you give us a contingency, a percentage, 10%, and we will go to bat for you with the insurance company. So what we're going to do is we're going to produce a report. We're going to tell the insurance company, we're going to fund Luke in a lawsuit. We're going to kick your ass. And Luke will get this much money, plus damages, plus punitive damages because you made him wait.
Because you put him in a hell of a position here.
Yeah. Or we'll settle for this amount if you give us a check in 10 days. And they did it. So I had to write this guy a check for $60,000. It was very painful. But we got the settlement, got the funding, rebuilt. Now, Royal Bank of Canada said, you don't have any experience, Luke, so you got to hire a general contractor licensed and what they call a quantity surveyor, who is someone who comes in like an accountant, and he counts all the screws and counts all the sheets of drywall. I have to sign a certificate, the contractor, and the quantity surveyor. We get to the end, okay? I'm sorry for going on, but this is a great story.
This is an interesting story.
So we get to the end, the electrical inspector comes in, and he flips on light switch, nothing happens. Tries to turn on another light switch, nothing happens. Plugs in a device into an outlet, nothing happens. So he takes off the wall plate, there's no wires. It's like, go through the whole building, there's no electricity at all.
They just put boxes.
It's already drywalled?
It's already drywalled, it's already painted, trims on, everything's done, except there's no, this is a 10,000 square foot building, no wires. So the contractor says, well, I don't know. And the quantity surveyor says, well, I don't know. So the last guy to find out was the bank manager, the loans officer. So I go to him with another proposal, and I said, listen, I fired everybody. I fired the electrician, the general contractor. It's going to cost us $200,000 to fix this problem. And I want to be the general contractor. And here's my plan. And so the bank manager said, okay, but no more money. That's it. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I got very lucky twice, within a year. So I finished this project, and I learned general contracting,
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. I forget where I was going with this, but totally forgot where I was going with it.
Well, like you said, your dad was a developer and stuff.
Yeah. So, and it was like, I wish I knew now what I knew then, because it cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I never read my insurance policy until after the hurricane.
Yeah.
I thought it was boring. I thought it was a racket. I was like, they're just taking your money and building glass office towers in Dallas and Calgary and but I sure learned a lot from that.
And there may be some truth to that part, but still, a person needs to know that.
You need to read. You need to know what you're buying.
Yeah.
Right?
You need to know so
You're almost
much.
hoping you don't.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I found that out the hard way. So co-insurance and underinsurance and all these concepts that.
And by the way, people, it's okay to cross things out on there too.
Yeah.
Just because it's written in ink on their nice bright white paper doesn't mean
that's right.
That you need to agree to it all. Right?
And at a minimum, get clarification.
Yeah.
Know exactly what you're paying for, right? So
yes, absolutely.
Well, you won't do that again.
That's right.
And I have some I would not do's again as well.
Oh,
so that's life. That's life, and it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to learn from it and be able to smile about it.
Yeah.
Because the alternative is just to be mad and bitter about it forever and ever, right? Mm-hmm. And we know some people and we were bitter for a while, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know one guy in particular, a real estate investor. He just had this one deal go really badly, and it took him out of the game. Mm-hmm. Like, he walked away. He went back to his job. And for all of you out there who have one, no offense, but Geoff and I are fairly unemployable. I know you are too, Luke.
Yeah.
We just this last weekend we had a guy who reached out to me and said he wants to hire me 30 to 40 hours a week.
Wow.
He's like, and I'll pay you a lot.
Nice. Can you tell us like what it is?
No.
Okay.
Because Geoff and I'm like, I don't even want to. I don't want to go away from the freedom that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. To help. We've worked so hard to build the freedom that we have.
Yeah.
And we have 5 kids, and after this, we're going to go watch our 10-year-old play basketball.
So much fun.
And we're always the only parents there.
Yeah.
Both of us. It's hardly ever.
That's
I don't mean to brag, but it's like it's been a struggle and a lot of hard work. But I wouldn't. I don't know what made me think. What made me talk about getting a job?
I don't know.
I went off on a tangent. That's my turn.
Well,
go ahead.
I remember what I was going to say before I went off the tangent.
Yeah.
So
Maybe I'll remember
I got
mine.
a chance to, because you said I'd be a perfect fit for the group.
Yeah.
And that's how I got off on the tangent, because I was like,
It's
here's
almost
some
like,
of my
hey,
experience.
I screwed up too.
Right?
We're all proud.
So I've got some experience, construction and, of course, real estate. I'm a realtor. But I wanted to ask you for the benefit of our listeners. So I heard some of what goes on in your deals from John Simcoe when I attended your event. I was there.
Right.
John explained a couple of scenarios. So for the benefit of our listeners, why don't you tell us how a typical deal works in Kelowna with you guys?
So maybe to do that, we have to just quickly categorize deals so people can segregate them in their mind a bit. But the ones that I think we were talking about were flips, right? So they were...
Or fix and holds or fix and flips.
Yeah, there was some fix and flip we did, and then some, maybe a bit of fix and hold, and then there's some long-term plays.
The Christmas Eve pierogi deal. Those are our favorite kind of deals.
Yeah, so we just had a deal. So we have kind of a network out there of individuals. Some are realtors and some aren't, but they're involved in real estate, some capacity. This lady that works with us let us know that she had a friends and a client, both to her, that had the worst experience, just like a textbook worst experience of a tenant nightmare. So a tenant that got moved in, 4 months later, not a penny was paid, and having trouble getting them out. And so they were professional con artists, take you for a ride tenant, right? So those are the worst, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't know what they're doing. They'll admit that. They had their best intentions about everything, but they got taken quite badly. And they were just done. Done meaning we have this house. It's paid for free and clear. It's our investment. It's our kind of only investment per se. And but this whole tenant game, we don't have the stomach for it. And she said, well, I know Geoff and Julie and their team, and you should get them to come talk to you. So in the end of that sit down at a kitchen table Christmas Eve, we gave them a little more and more than they would have got for rent if they were doing it on their own. And we gave them a guaranteed sale on their place 3 years from now for a good price, a price that we all agreed upon that was fair.
Right.
So they now were getting guaranteed payments from us, and they already have a sale, so they just could let down their shoulders and get back to enjoying Christmas. So that was, and in order, and on our side of it, we had no money into that because we used their, in this case, not in financing because it was paid for. So we didn't have to come up with really any money.
Right.
And they're Polish, and I'm Polish, my descent. And it so happens that my sister from Alberta had sent a care package of pierogies and cabbage rolls that I received in Kelowna that day.
Yeah.
And it was in the car. they had friends that couldn't be there that night because they were sick, and they were the ones bringing the pierogies. So I offered them some of my pierogies. So we call it the pierogi house deal because we basically bought a house for pierogies and cabbage rolls.
So nice.
And $100 deposit. But anyway.
So that's like a rent to own deal. That's what we call it.
Yeah, that was like a sandwich rent to own deal. Yeah.
So what do you mean by sandwich? Just for the listeners.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, sandwich lease options. So these folks own the property and title.
Right.
But we're going to buy it from them.
Yeah.
And they're going to be the bank. So we put all the paperwork in place that we're going to make them payments, and we agree to pay them a certain amount in a certain time. In this case, it's like 3 years.
Right.
And what we're going to do now is sell it to somebody else who can't qualify for financing.
Right.
And they're going to give us a down payment, and they're going to pay us monthly payments.
Right.
Which is more than what we're paying the folks that are selling.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to help somebody else become a homeowner.
Yeah.
Without having to qualify for financing.
Right.
So it's like the buyer is one side of the sandwich and the seller is the other side of the sandwich. And we are in the middle.
Makes sense, yeah.
So the benefit to the seller is that we've just got everything handled.
Yeah.
I go through we've done all this, and we don't get into trouble because now we know what trouble looks like. We can handle your house. We've handled over 100 at one time. And then when tenant buyers come in, we're able to say to them, we've been in your shoes. We lost everything at one time. We had to use this method to get into our house that we still live in today. We have 5 kids. We understand what it's like to have to start over. And so it's just really great to be able to help the sellers and the buyers in a very unique way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that...
And that house just got
sold.
So we just helped a single dad.
Yeah.
Single dad who has apparently full custody with his kids. And he was unable to get a mortgage on his own to go and buy a house out there. So renting would have been his only choice. And so we're helping a great guy with a great family, and he has a great job. I mean, these are good people that get turned down sometimes, and just because they don't fit all the boxes, right?
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of stories on that we could get into. We'll maybe do that another time. But
sure.
But really good, people that have had sick children that the odd bill slipped. Well, your focus isn't on your visa bill every month. Your focus is on your daughter getting better, right?
Yeah.
So we understand that, and some people right now, and what's neat is I get to say with quite certainty, as they're quite humble and scared to tell me their story and situation, and they have some shame about their situation, and I'm like, you can't beat me. You
Our
can't.
story's better.
Well,
no.
I don't think you collapsed $10 million.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the size of a bankruptcy, right?
Yeah.
So, and lost that many houses and that many properties. So just know, no matter what your situation is, I'm gonna giggle at it because it's not. It's still gonna be a drop in the bucket, right?
Definitely.
So not again that the biggest failure wins, but it's just like, I get you, and you're a long ways from being broken and a long ways from being someone we can't help.
Yeah.
And we get to say that with real certainty.
That's nice, yeah. And you can distinguish between the con artist and the person who's just having a tough situation.
Yeah, we say no.
Big difference.
We say no to more deals now than we ever did, and we say no to a lot of those people as well, more than we. Whereas when you're starting out, and I guess to new investors, be patient, listen to your instincts. No is okay.
Yeah.
Don't say yes to every deal. Don't say yes to every tenant. You take it slow.
Yep.
And do your diligence. And there's always another bus on both those fronts, whether it's a tenant or another deal. Always, always, always another one waiting for you.
Yeah.
And probably the right one. So
So true. I wish someone told me that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
I lost all my money. But
so
I just wanted to give an overview, what kind of wonderful people you are.
Oh, thank you.
And what you're doing. But I think for more details, because there's so many scenarios, as you pointed out, so someone should come as a guest to one of your meetings. It's the third Thursday of every month. Is it always in the same place?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can come once as a guest, right? Do you have to be invited?
That's right.
Or
No,
just-
anybody can come to one event for free just to see how it feels.
Yeah.
We should say what that is. That's Okanagan Real Estate Investment Group.
Right.
Yeah.
That we call OREG.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Luke will probably post all the
Yeah, I'll put all the
linky
links, but
things.
yeah, you should say it.
This month, for the month of February, I don't know when this will be published, but for the month of February, we actually have an all-day event.
Nice.
So it is 4 amazing speakers coming from across Canada to speak about different things as they relate to real estate investment. So once a year, we have an all-day event. We call it the OREG Success Summit.
Nice.
So that's every February. But every other month, except for July and August, we meet on the third Thursday of every month. Yes, at the Best Western Plus right now. 7 to 9:30 p.m. We're there. It could change, but we really like the Best
they
Western.
treat us
They
very
treat
well.
us really well.
Yeah, it was a great spot.
And members have an extra added bonus.
Yes.
We have a fireside chat or members only gathering prior to the 7 o'clock start of the meeting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's time with the speaker, or we work on some things. We just really try and build the core group and really try and give as much value and more value all the time is what our whole goal is. So
Right.
Yeah.
And the Success Summit in February, is it also at the same place?
Yes, it's at the Best
So
Western.
you'll have 2 talks in the morning, lunch break, 2 in the afternoon.
Exactly.
And
do you know
amazing
the
people.
date?
Yeah, it's Saturday, February 23rd.
Oh, Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually it's Thursdays, but
That's right.
Because it's a full day,
Yeah.
Because it's all day, we want as many people to be able to get there as we can. So
I really like weekends because even though I work 7 days a week, like as a realtor, my phone slows down quite a bit on Saturdays and Sundays.
Right.
And I hate being in a conference and my phone's going off.
Yeah,
it's like Murphy's Law or something.
I know.
Yeah,
So-
so Saturday's good, right?
Yeah. I think it's great.
Yeah,
So-
and there's some amazing. I can say that 3 times because really we have, we're at a point now where more and more talented people want to be in our room because we have such a good group to speak to.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're different than maybe other groups because I said I only want members who want to be there.
Yeah.
It's not about building up full of members.
Right.
And trying getting, some magic number. It's more about getting real people that want to help and help others.
Yeah.
So that's why I said you're a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Because you're going to be giving and receiving, and it'll always work if that's happening. So
That's great. That's great. Last question.
Yeah.
Who would you like to nominate to come on the show? So I'm not sure if you know how the process works, but it's anyone with a connection to Kelowna. And someone you would find it interesting. If you were driving in your car and listening to my podcast, you'd be like, oh, I like that person. You would listen to it. So we had a book author from Edmonton.
Right.
But she comes here to write because she finds it inspirational. So it's just someone with any sort of connection to Kelowna that wouldn't disagree with the title of the podcast, right? I love Kelowna.
Yeah.
And someone that you find interesting. That's the only criteria.
I'd say Dr. Rose Backman.
yeah, I was thinking.
Has she been recommended?
No, I don't know her.
She's amazing. That's who I have a podcast with every other week.
Oh, nice. And what's your podcast about?
It's called The Doctor and the Diva, and we talk about all things related to just life. So finances, business, health, mental health, spiritual health.
Wonderful.
And it's just all kinds of things.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, we will contact her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying
I was
to think
thinking
of,
the same one.
who else?
I have a couple of spiritual gurus in my life.
Yeah.
She's one, and another one is Deb Small, who's got a new book out right now, and went all the way to South Africa with it actually. So she's another big force, and she was. We talk about Kelowna. She was someone for me and Julie that kind of was here to kind of catch us, receive us, and help that turnaround. So when I said that personal growth that continued, she was a big part of that. Rose is and was a huge part of that as well. So Yeah, those are two Kelowna people that listeners could really look up. So
it's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, this was fun.
Same.
This was just easy and fun.
Great.
So, yeah.
I'm glad.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Luke Mankus is a realtor. He loves what he does. We asked Luke if he had any regrets about moving here in 2011. And he always says, yeah, one regret. And that is he didn't move here sooner. When Luke came here, he didn't know anyone. He didn't know the neighborhoods or anything or anyone besides his daughter, who was 6 years old at the time. So he knows what it's like. Now, he's an expert and has helped well over 100 single people, couples, families, and investors with their real estate needs in the Okanagan. If you're new to our beautiful city, Luke can help you get connected with great lawyers, dentists, carpenters, landscapers, swimming pool installers, you name it. And whether you're new to Kelowna or not, Luke knows real estate. He can help you find a great property, negotiate a good deal, and hold your hand all the way through the process until the day you get your shiny new set of keys. Luke is known as a no-pressure kind of guy. He's had clients where it took even a year or more to get them into a property. He just doesn't believe in rushing things. On the other hand, when you decide it's time to act, he's diligent and he'll work day and night until the job is done. Give Luke Mankus a call or a text message at any time. 778-215-4273. Again, that's 778-215-4273. 778-215-4273 to chat with Luke about real estate.